Okay, so let's go. This we have quite a lot of work we need to do here. Quite a number of work we need to do on this session, and let's see where we need to start from. There's quite a lot of tools or number of tools that we'll be using, which will make our life easy, especially when it comes to requests, getting back requests. So I will not. I don't know if I should use that now, or let me just quickly use it now. Okay, where do we even start from, safe? So let's start from, should I touch the UI or allow you to touch the UI? Okay, so let me implement assets. I will implement backend for assets so that you fix for the work request. And we'll also implement the view for this. We'll implement the view. We'll do the UI design, even though the images, we don't have images for now, but let's see where we can get to from here, and then we'll move on. First of all, let's go to the backend. We don't need this in view right now because we just want to deal with backend guy. And what we're doing in the backend is to get the assets sorted out. So I go to, okay, we have it in model. So we have all the assets done like so. Okay, basic assets. Now, what I've done in Edge, by the way, I'm looking for that your alias again. Is it LK? I hope it's LK. So what we are doing in okay, LA, right? So what we are doing here is that I found a better way to do it in Edge. So you'll be seeing something different when we get to Edge, right? You'll be seeing something different when we get to Edge. Edge introduces DTO. I mentioned DTO the last time. So this model here maps to the database. This is 101. Then the one that maps to the app is called DTO. We will not talk to that here. We're just trying to make this guy, go as fast as possible. I don't want to over-engineer anything when we're talking about this guy. I'll try as much as possible to not over-engineer a lot of things. But for Edge, we have, not that we have the time, but we need to architecture, a lot of things very well. So let's go to controller. We have assets controller already. And this is to get an asset, and this is to get a lot of assets. Now, this is the difference between what I did for Edge was that I didn't do this. Now, this one, I just made it return what it is. But here I have to create objects every time and then make it return. Where's the guy? Make it return this funny stuff. It's not that it's funny anyway. We'll still do that in Edge as well. But the idea is that whatever you are returning needs to have all these parameters. That is a normal thing to do because the front end needs to know the page size and total and all those stuff. So that is a normal thing to do. So nothing so out of the ordinary there. What I want to do is to duplicate this one inside assets, as in use it for assets. There's quite a lot of parameter passed. Let's see if we have something for assets already. Now, okay, this get asset. Okay, something has been done already. Who did this? I can't track who did that, but something has been done. Maybe we've already, bootstrap something already with that. But let's start checking and then give it a try. Now, the next thing you can do before you start writing your front end is to obviously make a call to get the list of assets and then passing all these parameters. So is there a way for us to pass the page and all those things like that? So let me see the parameters that we have here. So these have more detailed stuff. Yes, this one have more detailed stuff. While this one, all those things was not implemented. So I'm going to use ChatGPT to kind of do a lot of things for me, so I don't repeat, I don't go through the code. So this is the one that is working, right? I copy it, I give it to this guy, and I tell it to update this code for me. So I know that it's going to mess up and not give me the, okay, yeah, it's trying. It's giving me this part because this part is needed for our documentation. So it's going ahead to do the needful. Another thing I failed to give it was to give it the full column of everything that's available so that I know what to search with. But it has done something for us, and we can copy and paste and remove all this, and fingers crossed is going to work. So obviously you've seen the things it has added. It has done the pagination for me. Remember I said that this pagination, it should be like a function that it can just call. I don't have time now to turn that to a function. If it's a function, we will not need to be writing all this, because you will see code repetition. This code is a repetition from this code. You don't, as a programmer, you're not supposed to be repeating code like this. It's supposed to be a function. You can repeat the call of a function, but you shouldn't repeat the call of a block of code or block of codes. You shouldn't have them repeated. I mentioned that the last time. Okay, I'm not going to try to fix that. I just want to make sure that it's working, and then we can move on. So let's see all the endpoints that we can, or the parameter we can call. We have all these things, which is okay. Let's see if we can make some light call. So first of all, we'll see if we can log in. We'll put this one here. And the next thing is we can call and get work order. So this one is working. So we actually tested, we tested searching of assets. So that's why, because I know I remember this. That's why I said that you were supposed to have been loading assets from the backend. That is sorted already, as in we were supposed to be doing that. We did run through this one. So you could search for assets by saying description is equal to this. Now, the next thing we need to be able to do was to now say that, which is what we've done now. The data has a data that has the page, the pages, the size, and the total. It's cool. This is what we just did now. Of course, you can pass other parameter and say we want to go to page 2. So if you go to page 2, the first thing that shows shouldn't be 671. It should be something else. So there's no page 2. So let's say page size 20. So all 1 horsepower HP are not up to 20. Total of them is 13. So I can say the size is 5. So if I run this request, I should have, I'm not seeing page 2 or 5. So something is wrong here. So if I do page 1, of course, I'm going to see a result. So let me count the data. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So something is wrong. Our size is not working. So the size is supposed to be like a limiter. So it's not called size, it's called page size. So these things are important, guys. So it's called page. I thought I changed it to size at some point, or we didn't really, remember what to use. So I think it's page size. Now, if you check it again, it should make sense now. So this should be 5. Now that is 5. And then we have page 1. The first item is saying 671. And if we say it should go to page 2, we shouldn't see 671 again. We should see the next batch. That's good. So our endpoint is working. And like you know, all what you do when you're running stuff like this, and then AI generates stuff for you, make sure you triple check it to make sure that your data is all well and good. Okay, let's see what are the things that we need to do next. We have that bit sorted out. The next point is to go to the interface. Before we go to the interface, we need to look at the data, if that's the way it's supposed to be. So we have this. I'm looking at the things that we need. We have the list of locations. So tell us where the data is. But I know we did offline and online stuff. I don't know if we want to use this because there's another table that manages the online and offline availability. But I don't know if I should. Don't let me go into that now. Let's just use this as it is. Now, I think we are done with the front end. Or rather the back end. Let's go to the front end. So the front end is where we have our use effect guy. So we go to source and we have our hooks. So I've already created, I think we've even done a lot, guys. Who did this? I want to see who made this commit. Where is that guy that gives commit information? Okay, I don't know who did this, but we already have this. So that means it's going to do, we already have some things at works. We're going to change this Axio. We're not going to be using Axio again. We're going to be using SWR later, which we'll be doing later, not now. So we already have something in place. So we need to make sure that this matches with work order. Like you have something similar with the work order. Okay. Fetch. Let me see if it has something like that. Okay. They look similar. Okay. Let's look at if we have the assets. We have the asset definition. So we've actually gone ahead to do this. It's just that we didn't design the UI, or we didn't get data from the UI. So that's why I mentioned to you that where we stopped was supposed to have gotten data from the UI, not still working with the dummy data. Now, if I go to which interface manage this, it's on that page, and we have assets. Where do we have all the assets? Which is here. So we're not supposed to be having this dummy data anymore. I'm looking at a better way for me to implement this. I don't want to implement what I did in the work order. Sometimes we might just want something so simple like this, whereby you just search for the asset, right? You don't want to just have detailed stuff like this, because the people that will be using this will not need to specify this and this. They will just want to specify status, priority, and the assets description. So this might be overkill. We need to maintain this simple view in this case. Okay, so let's go to our implementation. So this is for search. I'm going to leave this like so. And first of all, I need to clear all this one to make my code even small first, because I want to make sure that I'm not looking at too much code. So I normally will remove as many things as possible. Okay. So all this implementation, I'm looking at how I'm going to want to remove all these things and just use my own. Okay. So we have some styling here. Okay, so what I would just do is, where is that guy? So I just I'll copy the hook, so that how many record? Okay, so this is the hook, so that this guy knows about the hook, right? And then I tell it to update the UI using the hook. So only use only search by assets. Okay, so let's see what it does for us. I didn't tell it to maintain our design. I would have just told it to maintain our design, but I think it's something we can quickly redesign. It's not something so crazy. So it's going ahead to do something for us. And I think it's going to maintain our pagination. I think so. If it doesn't, it's something we should be able to fix. Now this guy is getting too much. Okay, this is your floating button. We're gonna remove all that. So let's see what it does for us. Okay, so let's start from the top. Now this hook guy, he didn't say the hook very well. Okay, so we have our hook there. So this is loading forever. Is it because of all these things that it's not coming up or what? Okay, so I'm sure there's something, as in is it a use effect or something. Yeah, I know that it's use effect. So remove this block. Did you put refresh there? Why you can't do refresh now? Like seriously? Okay. Okay, so let's start fixing the issues. Let me see if we have other things there. Let me give it the asset model so that it knows what it's working with, because we didn't tell it the details of the assets. Where is the asset? So we need to update all these things. I'm looking for the assets where we declare the assets so that it knows why is this asset? Okay, this array of assets. Okay. So let me, send that asset to it so that I use it to. So why does it have a new asset list? So apparently it has scattered the whole thing for us. So let me see what's happening at the back end. If all these things we are doing is being called at the back end as well. Yeah, it's being called at the back end. So there's something responsible for this. And that's it's definitely not Go. This one did not behave like that. They practically have the same thing. Okay, so I know what to do. Before my laptop will not crash. Okay, so I made updates to this. That is still affecting. Oh, I'm actually in the wrong place. Server, don't run, don't tire. Okay. No, don't worry. It doesn't have any effect on that. It's just a endpoint call, so it's not that crazy. Just an endpoint call. Okay, so I got something. So you say we should update the hook. So it provided a fix here. But they say we should also fix this one. So we should fix this place. So one of the things is complaining about is the data being sent. So let me see what is sending. So it's not supposed to. So we want to, let me even see where these errors are coming from. We have an error here. I'm trying to fix the red mark error. So this location is a little bit different because the location works in, so let me just leave it as unknown location for now. Okay. So it's still doing the same thing. I want to disable the search so that we can implement it gradually and see the results. Where this guy is taking me to, I don't like where they carry me go. I don't know where they carry me, they go. We don't need all this to fix this particular issue at all. We don't need to implement all these ones to fix it. So we need to implement another method. So this method seems not to be working. Let's look for alternative. Now we have our page set to 1. Let's go inside the code and start fixing it manually if we can have AI fix it for us. So we are inside our use effects where the whole thing is happening. And then the issue is that it's passing the same thing over and over and over again. It stops, and that happens majorly when you have use effects. Use effects is notorious for doing something like that. This is where the culprits, the issue is coming from. I'm too lazy to go through it. So let's see if it will find something to say here. Okay, so I think the problem is this build query, because we never built any query from the search results. So yeah, problem might be coming from the build query in this work order is actually building query. Like, trust me, it's doing a lot, right? We're actually building stuffs. But in this scenario, did we use build query at all? Let me open the build query in this scenario. We did build queries, but we never had all these ones. So, but what if build query is empty? So you shouldn't have problem with it now. So the issue is coming from build query, kind of technically. That's if I'm passing an asset to it. Run lists or single fetch. So let me see what it's saying. No, I don't need to memorize all these things. So let me see what this guy did so that we'll implement it. Let me stop this one for now. Let's implement something. So let's have it do it manually. Now, what I want to do now is that this one, we check all the parameter that was available and then build, you know, a kind of filter. So this guy also have something, but we didn't use it. And even if it is empty, it shouldn't do this. But I will go to log into the web version to see if there's a JavaScript error. Because when you have a scripting error, it might just do this funny business for a long time. Okay, let me look at the interface as well. So this is the description. Yes, this is the description. Let me even give it something and say we have A. So that's what it will be running to. And that's what we're passing here as data. We can pass another parameter here. So we'll pass in the first page, which is 1, and the size is 10 by default. Okay, let's go back to the use effect. We don't need this guy. Now, everything being equal, this is where the query is happening. This query that we build is what is passed here. When did this guy come to the left? Okay, this not use effect. Okay, so this is supposed to be run once. All this data are supposed to be one data. Okay, let me see it in web form, because if you are not looking at it in the web form, you might be missing out a lot of some of these things. Okay, console. Get ready. We're not having any JavaScript issue. It's just a bunch of calls that is giving us. Eventually it's returning a this is serious. So this is the description I put there, which is passing it. So the endpoint is calling well. We don't have a problem with that, and we're not receiving any JavaScript error. We're not getting any JavaScript error. This is actually how you test server to see if your server is working very well, to see how it will deal with on a particular load or something. But that's not what we're doing right now. Okay, that one is still going. Does this one works for one? I want to check something. Still the same thing. So this guy wants me to write this thing manually. Okay, so what we're gonna do is okay, so let's take it step by step. We're doing that before. The use asset guy is here. So do we even need to do use effects? You need use effect to run this kind of query. Else this guy not gonna respond to you. So the way it's running is as if use effect is not effective, because the purpose of use effect is for it to actually run once. So the major thing is, if the value changes, that's when this will actually rerun. All things being equal, this guy is not supposed to keep running forever. All things being equal, it's only supposed to run when we have changes in the things we are doing. So let me see how I can, but it's asking me to use memo, which, okay, let me go down the rabbit hole. I've already removed the builder from dependencies. So let me start by memorize. It said we should use memorize. Nah, memo. I don't. Let's see. Oh, what could cause this? So he said that's the issue. So the fix is that only watch value, not callbacks. Okay, so you say that we're watching callbacks. Which are these? These are our callbacks. This is value. This is value. These are callbacks. Now, what is it doing here? Because when you're, this one is also still watching callbacks. Callbacks. Okay. Let me listen to it now. Let's change it and see what happened. But I think something is wrong with the, I think we have issue with the UI as well. I think so. So it's not allowing me to do this like so. So I see what it's saying. You say we should use this, but it's giving me error sign. But let's see if it will work. In fact, it has broken the entire code. It's even more notorious than before. So it has updated it for me to this one, which I think is still the same thing. And by the way, I think we've catch more bugs. So apparently it's working now with this new change, but I'm really not happy because the codes are messed up. There's a lot of mess up code. So it's working now. So the change it did was using this static stuff. Let me see if nests are working. So nests are working. Not really, because we have the same data being sent across. Yep. The same data is being sent across. So it's not working the way it's supposed to work. Now I just discovered another bug again now. If you come here and you pick this, you have this looping forever. So this is another bug which we did not see coming because we're working on assets. So we need to re-engineer the entire request to the backend. That needs to be re-engineered. So this was not done properly at all from our end. There's a lot of oversights that was done. So this was not engineered properly. That needs to be corrected. Now, I don't even know where to start from because now I just discovered that the single fetch is giving that funny vibes. So if you fetch, let's see this one. This one is working well. Apparently, this one is working well because I believe that this code is the better one. Where is it again? Yeah, this one here. Because what we were supplying there was more of like we're supplying functions. you know. But even though here too it was functions, but I have no idea why it was working, right? So let me even see this build query. Do we still have the build query there? So that's a query here. Was a query okay? Can I safely pass the query here without the guy freaking out? I think that's where our problem is coming from. This build query. So the build query is supposed to be watching what was changed. So what is filter itself? So filter is just okay. So filter to will change. We don't have on the assets. We will not be having location. We'll just be having description for now. We'll be having description for now. So if I should set and say loading. Okay, so I should have loading here. Let's say HP. Yes, so this is kind of technically is working because this HP here will be the search criteria that will be coming into our code so that this can change. So that part is working, this one here. So I can leave this one blank and set it up to change as the user provider information. Can I work myself back to what was there before? Let me see if I can work my way back. Okay, yes, I think I have it now. So if somebody say HP, is it automatically? Did we wire it like that? So I think we disable it for some time. So let me keep on doing that. Okay, let me try it again. Okay, so this search is working now. So the problem is not from here. The problem is from the use effects. So this part is working very well. We need to be able to isolate the problem and know where to go and fight, you know, our battles from. Now, if we had other fields like other sections, that's where we will now have command say status, and then you put the status there. But we didn't capture that. It's only description we want to focus on for now. So in the use effect section, we now want to see what's causing the problem. I think this one is solved, kind of technically solved, but our pagination is not working. So how do you fix the pagination? So the page is sent here. Is it sent to our query? That's the thing. Okay, so that's it here. It's being built here. You can also look at your query to see, obviously it's been sent. If you look at your, because if your query has it, yeah, we can see that it's changing the page. Yeah, it's changing the page, but our data is not changing. Our data is not changing. So you can easily fix that by checking the backend, right? If your endpoint is working. But that's by the way. At least you know that your request is sending to the backend. It's just that it's not being received. The data is not being received. So it's either the setting is not being set properly or something else is wrong. And that could be, this guy could be a cooperator. Okay, is this how I'm supposed to use it? Okay. Now let's look at the web format, because I want to see the data on the backend, because there are two things. It's either the data returned cannot fool us, even though the data is not being updated in the front end. You should be able to check what is going on. So this is page 1. Page 2, we shouldn't have XXS. So the data is correct. The data returned is correct. However, our UI is not being updated. That tells us quite a lot. That tells us quite a lot. So I don't know if I should trust ChatGPT now or just use my head to figure it out. So I'll just tell it that data is not being updated from the backend. Okay, so let's see what it has for us, if it can help us with this. Okay, so it's referencing us to this update, because I know that use effect, we might end up scrapping this thing altogether. So where's the use guy? Yeah. Yes, this place. Right now you have this. So you say we should change it to, say we should use callback. So it's asking us to use callback. And we should use this instead. So same for fetch assets. Let me just show me the full code. So I don't have time to be looking through the whole thing individually. So it has made some updates. It wants us to use callback, right? So that's what we're going to implement. Then what other changes do we have? So let's see if that will actually work. I think it has spoiled the whole thing again. It has spoiled the whole thing again. Oh, okay, because it was all calling the static page. This will come back to where we are again. We're back to where we started. We're back to where we started. We're back to where we started. So it knows that happens, so it's asking us to use memo. But all these things it provided, I didn't give it all these things now. It's just using its own discretion. Okay, so it has given us the updated hook, and then it has given us the updated interface as well. Okay, so let's see if we'll still have the same thing. If we have the same thing, we might end up re-engineering the whole thing, or might think about it again. Okay, search is working. Is pagination working? Pagination is still not working. Pagination is, in fact, it's not paginating anything at all. But the view is working. So if I click on next, oh, I see what it's doing. The pagination is adding it to the bottom. Ah, when you say next, oh, so I've seen what it's doing. So it's doing more incremental load. That's what it's doing. So when you say next, it's loading it on the bottom. That's what it's doing. So we never knew that it was working all along. Apparently it was working, only that it was giving us incremental loading, which is not what I want. So I told it to, I've given it a prompt that we don't want that effect, and hopefully it's going to oblige us with that information. Apparently that's where this debounce, because I was wondering what is this debounce that they bring up and down. So let's look at the updates that we have. Okay, so this is what I was expecting. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. I think something happened with the AI when we were searching it, and it went to go and bring his own clause in and was assuming something else. And that assumption is what put us in wahala like this. Okay. We have a new stuff. Let's go ahead and continue. I think our asset is working now. Now, another error that we have is in work order. This work order also showed some error, which is here. We will need to fix that as well. But let's first make sure that this one is working. So this one was the first thing that we did, which makes sense, right? But I never saw that error when we click. This error never came up like this. Never came up. So let's fix it. So I think the issue will be on, let me first check what happens when you click. That is under, where is that guy again? Single work order. So what's going on under single work order? Okay, sign work order page. I don't even know the one we are using. So just to be sure that I'm using the right page, because the page are much. Let me go to inside work order page. Let me see the page that we're referencing. Okay, but we did call it here. Work request, work order. This new. Okay, so this sign, it's not supposed to be sign. Why did I call it this? Single work order page. Okay, so apparently this page is messing up. Nothing strange is going on here. We are just calling the work order, which should just work. But apparently the page is loading forever. So let me also try and give you that information so that it will try and fix for us. Okay, so let's see what it's gonna do for us to see what the error is coming from. So it's also still saying, obviously it's gonna mention that same spot, but we didn't have issue with it with the other one. But let's see, let's fix it. So apparently, let's even see what this guy did in the, because you have to be able to learn from all these things. So what it did was it still used the same thing, right? But I can't find the builder. Yeah, this is the builder guy. This is the builder guy. He used it in, he used callback. So this one also use callback. Yes, it's used callback. So I just started to show me the full code. Okay. Okay, so we've done everything. Let's go ahead and check and see what happened. Refresh works. It didn't give out that funny stuff. Okay, we fixed it. It's working well now. Everything works fine. So let's look at it from the mobile point of view, because this one always make the whole thing look very funny. If we are using that method, it makes it look funny. Now have we been able to call the data from the backend? Yes, we are calling the database now. This guy is the data. One of the things I said I wanted to do for you, remember you are going to go and do this one, is that the UI is not properly designed in terms of the boldness. So I'm going to leave this one. I'm not going to focus on this one. Locations. Okay, let me show locations. So here we have unknown location. So the location is inside asset dot locations. Location is it called location or name? Okay, location dot name. Okay, so this is time for us to, okay, yeah, it's there. So you can see the name of the location on the bottom. So what I'm doing here is that, why is it giving underline issue? So the reason why you're seeing this like this is yeah, that's the name of the location where it is, but I want to be able to list the first two location. Okay. First two, first three. No. Okay. Okay, so let's have this. I think the location should be scrollable on that part. So what I told it to do is that it should just give me the list of locations there. It's gonna use map to map through the locations there. I think I would have just told ChatGPT to do it for me. It's way faster than these guys. I think it's way faster than these guys. This one takes forever. So while it's trying to do its thing, I think I will just tell ChatGPT to do it for me. So I'm looking for what it did. That was not smart at all. That was not smart. Okay, so I've told someone else to do it for me. So this is what I resolved into instead of this. I'm going to comment out this because I might need the CSS that I generated. So this is what we have. So this is what it gave me, which is very messy. I know we have so many locations inside each of them. And the reason why I said I'm gonna need this one is because I know it got this one right. I think so. I think so. Yes, I knew that it got the CSS right, but this is not gonna work. I wanted it that we can scroll past this. Okay. I'm looking for a solution to this. So I have my description there. So with okay. Yes, this is what I'm looking out for. But it makes the whole thing very, very tacky. Very, very. Why should I be scrolling like this? But of course, when you click more, you're supposed to see all the locations. That's the idea when you click more. But from view like this, you're supposed to be able to scroll. So the UI needs to be updated to allow me to express myself more. There are more things to do, like you can reduce the fonts because the font kind of looks too big. Where's the text size? How do you reduce size of fonts? Font size 1. Okay, so that should be like 6. That's the smallest. Wow. Okay, so that's the smallest already, except you want to implement your own tiny font. Okay, so anybody that wants to scroll can scroll down, but this online should just be an icon. You don't need to waste time to call it online like this. It can just be an icon, because this is really a waste of space. It can be an icon that will be top right or something. So bold, where are the bold guy? Why is it showing red? There's an error somewhere. Oh, okay, all these guys, I don't have your time now. Okay, now the online, it should just be, if this is equal to this, so where is it showing the text again? Yep, it should just be like that. But the positioning is where is awkward. I don't know if I want to trust ChatGPT to redesign the UI for me. So this one is supposed to be getting status and just returns the coloring. Most times this particular icon is supposed to be on the asset bottom like this. That's what happens there most times. So this is flex center. Who is this guy? This is where is the image? Let me see if it's going to help me, or I have to help myself. Okay, so apparently this was a wrong design. You can't have get badge and have two things in the badge, because what you did in this badge was not just that you added the rounded circle, you actually went further to put other things, which was somehow, that is poorly done. You can't have that mix up. Yeah, you can't have that. So it's either the status, the one that does that one is something else entirely. So why is it not going to the bottom? So I want this to be like the bottom. Let me say end start. So it should be like a badge on the bottom. So I think you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay, so I think I maxed this one out to max this one out. Good. Is it good? No, it's not good. At least the good thing is that the mobile screen is predictable for now. This is not, you're not supposed to hand code this. You're supposed to be able to know where it goes. So assignment for you, this needs to come here, this icon to show the status can be on the bottom here. Whatever the image is, to stay there. So this is better off, or the status can even go all together. Status doesn't have to be there like that, or there are other ways to track the status of that stuff. So I'm looking for, this should not be bold. That should not be bold. So what we've been able to achieve here, at least we've been able to, these floating buttons should all go away. Floating button. We don't need that. We're not adding assets. I don't know why that bug didn't happen before. Why did the bug? So all this edit and delete not needed. So you need to go and redesign this page. This page are looking not good. You can't have this and this. This is not good, right? There's a lot of work in design that needs to be done here. We said we should give till Wednesday. That's fine. So let me round up what I'm doing so that you will be able to know what are the tasks ahead. Let me push what has been done. That's quite funny update. Okay, the work requests. Yeah, I will let that slide. You can create work requests, but this shouldn't be here. Come on, this shouldn't be here, right? This shows that it was an AI that generated it and you didn't clean up the whole thing. There should be your own touch to what is going on. And all this bold should be removed. The only thing that needs to be bold is something that really needs to be bold. This view are not looking good, right? This view are not looking good. Your work order, sorting is working. I think we'll fix the issue that we had, and this part is settled. This one as well, we need to tweak this a little bit, right? This is not the best of the UI. You can see other UI interface that will help you depict, a better value. Okay, so pagination is working, all good. And technically, we already have logout. There's nothing special here. Then you should now start thinking of dashboard in terms of what are the tools you want to use to capture data from the backend.